Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. I want you to picture the scene. The Israelites have just achieved the completely impossible. They finally crossed the Jordan River and they're standing right on the edge of the Promised Land. The stakes here, they couldn't be any higher. The tension in the ancient Near East is absolutely palpable. So today we're unpacking Joshua chapter 5. It's this fascinating text that details exactly what goes down in this massive, pivotal moment of transition. Now think about the sheer panic happening on the other side of the battlefield right now. The text tells us that when the Amorite and Canaanite kings heard about this crossing, their hearts literally melted. No spirit left in them at all. I mean, if you're a military commander, this is your absolute dream scenario, right? You've got a massive tactical advantage, your enemy is terrified, demoralized, and totally disorganized. Logically, it's time to strike. But, surprisingly, they decide not to use this advantage right away. Instead, they do something completely counterintuitive. And that brings us to our first major shift, renewing the covenant. Because right when they should be sharpening their swords for battle, Joshua's actually commanded to make sharp knives for a mass circumcision at a place called the Hill of the Foreskins. So, you're probably wondering, why take this incredibly painful, vulnerable pause? Well, it comes down to a 40-year gap. You see, the original men of war who came out of Egypt during the Exodus, they were circumcised, but that entire generation actually died out in the wilderness due to disobedience. This new generation, the ones born along the way, they'd never been circumcised. So before they could inherit this new land, they had to formally renew their covenant, even though it meant making their entire fighting force completely incapacitated right in the middle of enemy territory. Talk about a supreme test of trust. But here's the crucial point. This wasn't just some physical ritual. It was a profound psychological and spiritual identity shift. The text tells us the location was named Gilgal because the Lord said, "This day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you." They were completely cutting off their past. They weren't Egyptian slaves wandering in a desert anymore. They had officially become a new, settled nation. It's a pretty great reminder for all of us, honestly, that sometimes we have to fully heal from and sever our ties to the past before we can actually step into a new season. This naturally leads us to the next big shift, the end of manna. Following that huge identity reset, the Israelites observed the Passover right there on the plains of Jericho, setting the stage for a massive economic and logistical transition. Think about this. For 40 years, the Israelites survived strictly on manna in the wilderness. It was their daily miraculous provision. But suddenly, the whole menu changes. We're talking old corn, unleavened cakes, parched corn, and the fresh fruit of Canaan. And the very day after they ate the produce of the land, the manna ceased. Instantly, the wilderness welfare system was officially over. It was time to start living off the land they were about to inhabit. They were shifting from day-to-day survival mode straight into cultivating their own future. Which brings us to the real narrative climax of the chapter, the divine commander. The people are prepared, the diet has shifted, and now Joshua is standing by Jericho. He's likely surveying those massive, supposedly impenetrable walls, strategizing his next move. And suddenly, he looks up, and there stands a man opposite him with his sword drawn in his hand. Joshua, being the ultimate general, walks right up to him and asks the essential tactical question: "Art thou for us or for our adversaries?" It's a totally binary question, right? Are you friend or are you foe? Which side are you fighting for here? But the response he gets, it completely shatters Joshua's entire paradigm. The mysterious warrior just replies, "Nay, but as captain of the hosts of the Lord am I now come." Nay, meaning neither. He rejects the premise of the question entirely. And this completely reframes the upcoming conflict. It's not about whether God is on Joshua's side to help him achieve his military goals. It's entirely about whether Joshua is aligned with God's ultimate authority. And Joshua immediately grasps the gravity of this. His reaction is total, instant submission. Step 1, he falls on his face to the earth and worships. Step 2, he completely yields his command, asking, "What saith my Lord unto his servant?" In an instant, the supreme earthly commander of Israel realizes that he is, in fact, the subordinate. And the captain of the Lord's host responds with these truly iconic words: "Loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy." What began as a standard scouting mission for a military conquest has miraculously transformed into this incredible encounter of divine alignment. It really forces us to ask ourselves when we face our own insurmountable walls. Are we just trying to recruit the universe to fight for our side? Or are we willing to take off our shoes, surrender our carefully laid strategies, and align ourselves with a much grander plan?